Doug from Tech Dad here. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be continuing on in our series on IT or computer jobs. This week's discussion will be about architects. They come in a couple of different types. Typically, you'll hear something called an enterprise architect or an EA. You might hear of one called a cloud architect as well, who specializes in cloud. So let's talk a little bit about what is an architect. Well, an architect is really someone that has a broad perspective on a lot of topics, whether that's security, databases, networks, applications, cloud, mobile. They just have a lot of information about a lot of different topic areas that they've absorbed over time. And typically that's why you want an enterprise architect who has many years experience, 10 or more than likely. And so an enterprise architect is a very valued resource in an enterprise or a business. So they're very attention to detail, I guess, is what I would say. They pay attention to every little detail. And so if that's your bent, if you will, if you're someone that likes to pay attention closely to the details, then perhaps this is a career you should try to pursue. So what do I mean by detail? So I just mentioned a very big list of different categories of IT topics there. Well, they're interested in learning more about each of them all the time. So their role really is to help others understand the global picture of IT. So particularly they work with not only other IT folks, but business folks to say, you know what, I know you're looking at a particular application that you'd like to install here in the organization, but these are the current concerns I have. That's typically what you'll hear. And so they do research, they use their vast amount of experience to determine any concerns that might be coming up with the installation of a new application or an upgrade of an application. They have the ability then, as it sounds, to speak to both technical and non-technical folks. They can use very words and technology words to the techie guys to speak their language, if you will. And then they can turn around and speak to someone on the business side using non-technical terms to describe their concerns. As you might expect, these enterprise architects are a very valued asset in an organization. They have excellent documentation and presentation skills. They love to document. They love to create documents that describe whether it's requirements or, as we mentioned, their concerns. They also like to present that to folks in the organization. They're often the CTO or the CIO's close right-hand person to make sure that the organization is not taking a misstep. And one of the things that can frustrate business folks when they're working with enterprise architects is they seem like they're negative all the time. Well, that's not really what they are. They're just their job is to make sure that you understand all the concerns that they have or might have with a particular new initiative you're doing. And that's really what their job is. So it's very important for them to be that detailed oriented. In terms of education, these enterprise architects obviously typically have a comp sci 4-year degree of BS in computer science. They also typically have certifications, both in architectures as well as hands-on experience with a lot of these either products or or technology types. And so they have strong reference points to go to. They also have a tight community of folks that they actually bounce ideas off of, and also um, in the industry, other enterprise architects, if you will, that they can shed a light on to help another architect, or they could receive advice as well. So again, they're very strong person in terms of their opinion in an organization. So hopefully I shed some light here on the enterprise architect role, and if that's something that sounds like would be interesting to you, I'd love to talk to you more about that. And please make some comments down below and we can continue the conversation. Thanks very much for your time today. Until we see you next time. Bye.